Hey everyone, my name is Taps, and wow, there just keeps being more and more news and updates every few days from Ecomi and Veve. That momentum that I keep saying is building, well, you can feel it taking effect when you want to make videos on other projects, but you can't because Ecomi and Veve happen to be coming out with exciting updates constantly, almost every 2 or 3 days. The weekly AMA just took place yesterday. That was jam-packed full of gems that I felt the community should know about. And it's about 2.5 hours. So if you don't have the time to sit through that, it's okay. I took notes and I'll give you those highlights today in this video in a condensed version. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the community and feel free to subscribe. I'm a crypto, stock, and real estate investor, but definitely never a financial advisor. Let's address real quick the recent happenings, and then we'll get directly into the AMA highlights. The first major piece is that the Labbits actually just released this morning. The drop was amazing. It sold out lightning fast. I tried to secure an ultra rare. I was not able to do so, and then I tried securing rares, and I had an issue and didn't get those, but I did get some common and uncommon Labbits for myself. This is the first drop of what we believe to be many from CraneKahn, who was on the AMA, and we'll probably see more Labbits and some other collectibles that come from CraneKahn, as well as some possible art in the near future. The next piece were Hoverboards. So this is the second drop coming today, which in my time at shooting this video is roughly in about an hour and a half. And so this is now the second installment of Back to the Future. I think this is a really cool drop. It actually has a much higher mint than the CraneKahn drop, so I'm going to be trying for the ultra rare and the rare to try to get them all to complete this set. And the final piece of news before we get into the AMA highlights is I posted this on Twitter the other day, and that's that 54, I've heard 56, but 54 million Coinbase users received this email. And shout out to Claire, who's a well-known Ecomi fam member, for bringing this to our attention. But Coinbase shot out an email to all Coinbase users that highlighted NFT space. So it said, can NFTs go fully mainstream? Fox, Marvel bet on blockchain tech. So in this article, it was probably, I think, about 5 or 6 pages or so, and it went again to all Coinbase users. So a lot of people saw this. But second company down mentioned, Marvel's expanding into a mixed reality metaverse with digital collectibles. Later this year, fans will be able to buy digital Marvel art like NFT comic books and display it virtually with the Veve app, which adds a digital layer to the world around us. Veve was mentioned by Coinbase to all Coinbase users without them even knowing like they were going to be mentioned. This is big because, a lot of people were saying, well, they didn't mention OMI or they didn't mention Ecomi. They mentioned Veve. So if anyone's like, oh, mixed reality, metaverse, digital NFT comic books, I'm going to download the Veve app. They don't need to know about Ecomi or OMI, or they can do a little bit more due diligence as smart investors into NFT projects and then find out there's an entire another layer to what Veve is. But either way, this is free publicity from one of the largest exchanges in the world and came out of nowhere and was really exciting news that had to share with everyone. Now on to the AMA. So shout out to Cavell Anderson and Hello K and a few others who were able to record this. This was an AMA with David, Dan, Reese of all, Ecomi and Veve, but also Frank Kozik and Mitch Putnam who are on it as well. I think Putnam was his last name, but Mitch from Mondo. So let's start there. First, they mentioned Mondo Prints. So right away, I had to look into what Mondo was because in that AMA, David and Dan, they spoke, and Reese all spoke so highly of Mondo and Frank as well. So I had to look and see, okay, who is Mondo Prints and who is Mitch Putnam? And it's very much a very well-known brand. You'll recognize a lot of the work. So first thing that jumps out right when I clicked in was Bidoof, which this is not confirming that we have Mondo or Mitch or Pokemon or anything that is in this. However, he was on the AMA and they spoke highly about him. And again, to reiterate what I said in my last video, any brand that Dan or David have wanted, they've been able to get. I think the same could be assumed with artists, right? So Mitch hopping on this call and speaking to Mondo, I think is a little bit like foreshadowing. So looking into what Mondo is, I mean, it's tons of posters and art and collectibles from a lot of brands that you'll recognize, right? We see Pokemon, we see Wonder Woman 1984, we see Shazam. So DC, Pokemon, a lot's jumping out, right? But let's click into the shop and we can see there's posters that you can see all kinds of different brands directly in here. He has even Disney and Pixar, as we can see with Snow White and Ratatouille, Incredibles 2, Inside Out, Brave, A Bug's Life. And then he also has a really big horror background as well. We could see with Babadook, and I'll get into a few more as well. Jumping into the collectibles side, this actually got me most excited looking into his content. Again, we can see that horror side shining out. So when we think about like the OG horror films like Frankenstein and The Creature from the Black Lagoon and Godzilla, all these like black and white old school movies, he has a lot of these really cool collectibles that align. And then we can see also Rick and Morty, God of War, which I touched on potential God of War coming as a speculative license of PlayStation. We can see, of course, Adventure Time with Jake and Finn. I think it's really cool to see Half-Life in here. And we can see more horror film plays and Fallout. I mean, Iron Giant. The guy has a lot of Castlevania, a lot of great content on collectibles as well. Master of the Universe, which I know a lot of people have spoken about and are pretty excited about with the He-Man side. But then we go into collection. He has direct content around Marvel and Disney. And again, the video game side, Alamo Draft. On the Marvel side, we can see a lot of really cool posters, which, as our vaults get more and more versatile and branched out, we will be able to have posters and that 2D art that really has it show off. Again, Mitch Putnam did not say he is coming to Veve right now, but he was on the AMA and speaking about Mondo. So I do believe that is again, foreshadowing of seeing who is a potential future artist to come. And on that AMA, he also mentioned Mike Mitchell. So Mike Mitchell has also done a lot of different types of posters and art and content. He made a conscious effort to mention Mike and how he's starting some kind of crypto. But again, it's just another potential artist that we could see. So Mike Mitchell has, again, a lot of Star Wars content, and he has a lot of great Marvel content. Some really, really cool stuff. Looking into Mike Mitchell, he might be a potential artist that we could see in the future as well. Next up, they addressed the first edition versus first appearance. Now, this has been spoken about in Reddit many, many times, as well as among Ecomi and Veve users. And our impression has always been, first appearance is going to be worth the most, right? Like, it's the first appearance of a character being released. But then we also thought, okay, but the Ron English serial killers and the Kazakh Labbits all say first edition, so are they not as worth as much? I believe it was Dan who came on and said, basically the artists are usually going to be first edition, and we'll see a lot of them. Like, we'll see more Labbits, we'll see more serial killers, we'll see more content from Ron English and Frank Kazakh, but these first appearance of the Labbits, even though they say first edition, they're still, from a collector point of view, a first appearance. So do not sleep on a collectible coming from the artist side, on the artist alley, whether it's Frank Kazakh or Givenchy or any of them, that just says first edition and assume that it's not a first appearance. Next highlight was the VeveVerse. So we've been really excited about it. We keep clamoring for more information, right? Like, this has been on the website for a while. Coming later this year, the VeveVerse will offer an immersive metaverse in which fans and collectors can stake their claim in a new and collaborative world of collecting. So they did address this, that VeveVerse development is going to kick off in 1 to 2 months. So does that mean we'll have a VeveVerse in 1 to 2 months? No. It means that it's going to kick off. But again, when it comes to them developing things, it could be a month, it could be 3 months. Who really knows? But the fact that the development is soon approaching is a good sign that we should be on track for this year, 2021, to see the VeveVerse come to fruition. Another highlight that Dan was asked about and mentioned was the engagement of the app. So that is something that all app creators want, is high engagement, high retention. And he said that the Veve app is performing thousands % higher than what is expected or on average in terms of engagement from app users. So that is a really, really good sign, especially since The app has been out for a while and the user base is still growing, and there's still so many more users that are going to come in, especially as more awareness comes out with Comic-Con and all these new verticals and new artists who are coming into the fold. The next highlight was Reese was asked about, okay, Al Kahn, like, when is this interview coming? Like, we've been waiting for months. And he said that they're aiming for the interview later this week, but still trying to lock him down as he's a busy man and out of the country right now. But they're trying to lock him down for this week. So hopefully we can finally get that interview. I think it'll be great, especially if it is a Clubhouse or Discord AMA where we can directly ask questions of Alfred. And I'm secretly hoping that he's really good about letting things slip, kind of like how David is. And one little fun fact that Reese or David revealed was that they said something about how Al Kahn co-wrote the Pokemon theme song, which I thought was pretty cool. But this got me thinking a little bit more about Al Kahn, and I wanted to dig in, right? We already know that Al Kahn is the head of licensing at Ecomi and Veve, and that he is the man who is responsible for bringing the Pokemon franchise to the US. But one thing I wasn't sure on was why CraneKahn, right? That's his newest company, CraneKahn LLC. So I got digging a little bit deeper and I found this Medium article that goes directly into CraneKahn LLC. This came back out in 2019. It highlights his #1 brand that is a #1 animated kids show in China, which is Kung Fu Pork Choppers, which I bet you money that we will be seeing this eventually on Veve, which I think will do really well. But CraneKahn made me wonder like a little bit more about it. So I looked more into this Medium article that talks about, you know, who Al Kahn is, which we've gone over him quite a bit. You know, he is known for Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh!, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and many, many more brands. But then it also highlights the president, Jillian Crane, CraneKahn LLC, which is his newest company that he has been highly, highly working on, and why he is probably a little bit harder to nail down for this interview. Jillian Crane is the president of CraneKahn and half of its namesake. She is well known in theater and utilizes her artistic experience in acquiring IP at CraneKahn and developing them into children's entertainment and licensing successes. So Jillian Crane of CraneKahn LLC, who works directly with our head of licensing of Ecomi and Veve, has a massive reach into the entertainment world, which we've already heard Rogers & Cohen has a fantastic portfolio of entertainment, celebrities, all that side. And she is also very much in tune with the children's entertainment industry as well. So licensing and IP. Putting 2 and 3 and 4 and 17 together, I go back to what I said about in my last video about how David's Rolodex is so big, and then he works with Frank and his Rolodex is so big, and Al Kahn and Jillian and their Rolodexes are so big, and they keep merging right into one massive Rolodex, and their fans become Veve fans and Veve fans become their fans. We saw it with Frank Kozik and Wrong English. They're just building out this massive amount of awareness that is going to be other audiences, other verticals with entertainment. And they spoke about the Veve for Kids possibly coming eventually, right? So there's just more and more layers directly to this. And I also looked even further down the list to see Carrie Novick, who is the SVP of Global Sales and Acquisitions, who even she has 5 years at Sesame Workshop as the Director of International Program Sales, handling distribution for Asia, Latin America, and Canada. So Sesame Workshop is a nonprofit, something around Sesame Street. So again, I'm not saying that we have Sesame Street or Kung Fu Pork Choppers or that we have access to their licensing, but again, Rolodex, just building out, right? Even says that Carrie was president of small screen distribution representing top tier children producers, clients including Nelvana, Sparky Animation, Jim Henson Company, so Muppets, Britt Allcroft, Fremantle Media Kids, M4E Entertainment, Guru Studio, Word World, and 4Kids Entertainment, which is Al Kahn's previous company. So is VeveKids coming eventually? Probably. I'm going to say almost definitely, but it would make a lot more sense to probably do so once they've really secured a massive foothold with all the verticals that they're doing, with all of the current demographic that they're going after, and then like maybe around 1 million users, launch Disney and Pixar, and then go into everything that Al Kahn can help with this massive demographic that will really, really help grow. Because again, kids don't do anything with cryptocurrency and they don't need to. And that's what's so powerful about the Veve app is they can come on, play with these things, have them in augmented reality, collect them. Their parents can buy it with a credit card on the app, same as you would do by setting up a username and a credit card on Amazon. And they're buying these things, burning gems, burning OMI, without caring that it's tied to crypto at all. A lot of power is coming in this model, and this is why we've spoken about it for so long, because we're starting to see the little pieces that are adding up to be this giant, monstrous company that is going to have a ton of success. And on that piece about the Veve for Kids, David did pivot a little bit and say they are going to be having something really exciting coming out, a new license in roughly the next 7 days that should be really exciting for kids, specifically girls, he said. But I mean, boys, girls, doesn't matter, right? Like I had G.I. Joes and maybe I played with a Barbie or two. But when we look at the top 30 toy brands list, number 4 is Barbie. What else could it be? It could be Sanrio, which we know that's not a long shot for Al Kahn or David to really land Sanrio because it is one of the number 1 licenses in Japan and well known. That's Hello Kitty. Or My Little Pony would make sense. But whatever it is, he said it would be very exciting and that maybe could be the first intro that we could see to them targeting this demographic. 2 other quick highlights that they did mention that I thought did stand out were localization. So someone asked in the AMA, like, will more languages be coming to the Veve app besides English? And they did say they're working on it. It'll probably be coming out in the next couple months or so, but we will see more languages coming to Veve. So I thought this was a fantastic question because when you want to think mass adoption, think about how many people don't speak English, or they speak English but they don't read English as well. So they can hear about Ecomi and Veve on our videos, but they may not really be able to use the app very well. So they're not going to download it or even have their kids download it, right? So once they get this localization nailed down, it'll expand to multi-country with the more languages being accessed. The next highlight they spoke about was occlusion. So they touched on LiDAR, like how LiDAR is needed for the collectibles. Eventually we'll be able to see our Batmans running around and jumping off our desks, and we're really excited for when that does happen. But they did address that occlusion will be coming soon as well, or they're working on it. And this is the ability to place your collectibles behind things, right? So when you're doing a video in the Veve app, which is coming, they also mentioned, you'll be able to walk around your backyard and place a Batman behind the wall and have him show up there. So that way he's not just, in your line of sight all the time. So this gives us a good kind of reference point of here's your field of view. Here's a tree. You're going to place your Batman behind the tree, and if you want to walk around, he's there, so he's just not always in your line of sight. Really cool that they're thinking ahead about these things, and it's just going to broaden usability within the Veve app, as well as we've seen a lot of people get creative with the types of crazy videos and skits and things like that they're doing with their collectibles. There's going to be a whole nother user base who gets really into that side, and so little pieces like this getting developed now are great. So the other piece that they mentioned were blind boxes are coming and when and what they're coming for. In the AMA, they did say that we will have full comics, right? Not just comic covers, not just a few pages, but full comics, which is exciting. And they said that we'll be seeing blind boxes coming for these comic books where you'll have a chance at like an ultra rare or a secret rare. So this is exciting. It adds another element to actually giving it up to chance, right? It's the luck of the draw, and if you aren't lucky, then you go in the marketplace and pay a little bit more for what you want. But this brings a little bit more element of fairness to those ultra rares and secret rares. So I'm a big fan of this and really look forward to seeing what else will be coming with blind boxes besides the comics. The next one is a big one that most have asked about, and that is Wen Immutable, the OMI token, is going to be moving to Immutablex off of GoChain. I believe it was Reese who said 4 to 6 weeks till we start conversion. Maybe the beginning to middle or end, if it pushes out, of August, we can see that conversion to Immutablex and possibly exchanges being announced shortly after. In the last piece, a lot happened in this AMA in 2.5 hours, but was that they mentioned a new artist will be coming sometime in July. And they didn't say who it was. They did say they were really excited about it and that we would be excited too. And I don't think it's going to be this particular artist, but someone did bring up in the AMA that they've seen Hebrew Brantley and a lot of the collectibles that I think Dan and David have. And David actually came on and said he's a huge fan of Hebrew Brantley and has most of his Flyboy collectibles. So again, going back, any brand that they want, they've been able to get. So most likely any artist that they're a big fan of, they probably can get as well. And if David said he's collected most of the Flyboys and is a big fan of Hebrew Brantley, then I would assume and speculate that we'll be seeing Hebrew Brantley at some point. Usually I don't unwrap everything from an AMA, but there were so many hidden little pieces and gems in this one that revealed new timelines and new influential licenses and new people possibly coming to Veve in our world. And so I just had to do a quick video to reiterate all this to those who didn't want to sit through the entire AMA. It's crazy. You know, just when you think you know what to expect from Ecomi and Veve, they surprise you with the next thing. And that's because Veve is an onion. I like metaphors, so stay with me. You remember that scene in Shrek where Shrek says ogres are like onions? There's layers. That's how Veve and Ecomi are as well. Back in February and March, we had just peeled off that skin that revealed that first layer of what was going to be Ecomi and Veve. And now we're going another layer deeper. There are tons and tons of layers yet to be seen. But again, that is still the first layer of what is yet to be seen in what is going to be an exciting journey with this company as fans, collectors, investors, and as a community. That's all I got for today. I hope you had some luck on the Frank Kozig drop and on the upcoming hoverboard drop. If you found my content valuable, please hit the like button. And as always, please leave a comment down below on what your thoughts are on these highlights, what you're excited for Ecomi and Veve. Comments help make the YouTube algo overlords very happy and helps my channel to keep on growing. And if you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell for more future content. That's it for today. I'm Taps. Thank you for your time and happy trading.